After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between. But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course. I forgot I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs. Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait. I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off. The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these. I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman, at your service. I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work. Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival. Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it. So I figured my parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. My story in Bellariva began. It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town. In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy.
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Why did you do that? How did you do that? I didn't see.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you, even though we both
When it
know
finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her back.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious. I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all part I wouldn't be able to fix. My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece,
My father's statue. What's left of it, at least. It survived 100 years in this family. But Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks. Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label. Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together? Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself.
as Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's...
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things...
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful... Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers, cradling their... I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me. Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging...
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the...
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some... Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong? Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this. You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up. There's still a part I need to attach. Where does it go? When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down? That's if I can pay my phone bill, anyway. And the rent, and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone. As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some...
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry, actually, I might have another job for you.
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix...
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have... Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera.
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything. I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
If I used the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror. Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working. Still a few parts missing. I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but she took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince...
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was a... The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the...
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of...
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her...
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't let...
Carmen led me to a back room. where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign. So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. I think the whole thing is supposed to light up. I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these. It works! I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set. The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door. Oh, that's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all...
A smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better, Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently. Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen. And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of...